Hello, everyone. I've been sharing with you some of Joel Goldsmith's ideas from his book, Living the Infinite Way. And today I would like to share with you some ideas from Chapter 4, God is One. Yesterday I shared with you what Goldsmith wrote. There is only one way to come out from all of our judgments of people and the things around us, and that is in our agreement that God made all that was made, and all that God made is good. It is our agreement that God, Spirit, is the life, the soul, and the mind of individual being. That means everyone and everything, no exceptions. In today's chapter, Goldsmith writes, in our agreement and understanding that God is one, God has no opposite, and there is no opposition. With God as one, there is only one activity, one being, one cause, one power, one law. Each Sunday morning when we meet at the center, we say, there is only one presence and one power, active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Goldsmith is saying exactly that in all these books. When Jesus was asked which of the commandments was the greatest, he answered, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. Therefore the first and greatest commandment is, Thou shalt have no other gods before me. We think of God as power, and so the commandment is, Thou shalt acknowledge no other power but God. Since God's the only power, can anything other than God have any power? According to Jesus' teachings, they could have no power except as was given them by God. If God is the only power, and if God is the only law, then how could anything in the outer realm have any power over us, or fall under the law of God, when the law of God is that only good shall prevail in our lives? According to Jesus' teachings and the teachings of so many spiritual wisdom leaders throughout the ages, there is only one power, one law, one being. Since there is no power apart from God, then there is no power in lack and limitation, disease, discord, disharmony. Since there is no law apart from God, then there is no law of disease, lack, limitation. And we no longer have to turn to God to overcome those things, to help us rise above them, to destroy, correct, or remove them. The only thing we have to do is to go back inside of ourselves and connect with the isness of God. God is. God is expressed, manifest as you and me. God is appearing as your being and my being. God is appearing as. God is manifest as this universe and everything in it. There is nothing apart from God, since God appears as this universe. And when we connect with that and claim the isness of God as our being, then everything must come back into harmony as the isness of all that God is. Law is. There is not good law or bad law. There is only law. God is. There is not good or strong power, not good or bad power. There is only power. God is. There is only one power, and that power is God. We must begin to arrive at a state of consciousness called is, and this is what we rest in. We have nothing to be protected against, and we don't have to pray in order to get God to do something for us. All we have to do is realize that God, good, already is, and in our receptive state, we allow the good to come forward in a way far better than we could create. Goldsmith wrote that many years ago it was revealed to him that which he was seeking he already was. It already was. With that understanding came the realization that I could give up seeking, I could give up searching, I could even give up praying. It already is. And now my prayer is no longer asking or affirming, My prayer is the realization of, the recognition of is. Jesus recognized this fulfillment. He recognized his divine sonship. He recognized that all that the Father had was his now, and he did not have to make it so. It already was, is. This is the realization that we must have also, that it already is, and to just allow it to come forth. We are being asked to remember that all that has ever been is now, all that ever will be is now, for now is the only time. The divine harmony of God is your being now. And this is your prayer, your connection to God. Once again, we are asked to withhold all judgment of any kind toward anyone or anything. Anything we judge are only appearances or illusions, and only temptations to keep us from venturing down the path that leads to a higher state of consciousness. You can see where you can't truly discuss with your regular friends or family all of this, because all of the conversations of humanness is about appearances. So it's useless trying to talk, argue, or reason this out with them. We are asked to just be still and know. But be very still. Be very still and spiritually know that this is the truth. There is no law of disease. There is no evil. There is no power that can harm. We're asked to spiritually feel the rightness of this. And if you can feel the rightness of this law, that one presence, the one power, that there is nothing to overcome, nothing to destroy, nothing to remove, then you will know, I already am. It is. God is. Harmony is. For most of us, the challenge is about non-judgment, especially not right now with everything going on. There are probably over 1 million different things going on in our world today that we could judge as bad, horrible, hideous, and a lot more. But to walk this path, we are asked to give that up. A question for you today is, how much peace, harmony, health, abundance, joy, and more do you truly want in your life? If you desire that over judgment and condemnation, then when you find yourself judging, just go back to loving at that moment. Judgment about yourself for judging is also judgment. And we're asked to give up all judgment, and that includes judging ourselves. When we can turn from judgment to loving at any given moment in time, we are moving up the path to higher consciousness. This is not an easy path to follow, and yet how many people throughout all the ages of time have been able to do it? Actually, quite a lot. We have many, many teachers throughout the ages who have spoken about it, written books, and nowadays we find them on YouTubes and movies, and so much more. Goldsmith writes to not be concerned about what anyone else writes about God, however. Anything that anyone else has written or spoken about God is their experience of God. We can all share our own experience of God, but that doesn't give anybody else their experience. What I've already said in one of these messages is that the infinite way was to lead us to the experience of God, to lead us to our own personal connection, experience of our own personal oneness with God. If we can all just understand that God is, and sit in that isness of God, and allow all that God is to permeate our being, then you will have your own personal experience of God. So once again, I encourage you to spend time in meditation, to go to that place inside of yourself and just recognize that God already is. God already is in you, as you, expressing through you, and wants to express its fullness within your life. We have our work to do, as I've already stated, so let's just do that work. Let's move from judging to loving. And then let's spend time just sitting in the isness of God and watch our lives transform. God bless everyone. Have an absolutely wonderful day.